Your Excellency Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, welcome to Bangkok and thank you very much for joining me. I have been waiting for more than 20 years to address you as Prime Minister and finally I can address you as Prime Minister.
Thank you.
How's your life has been different as being Prime Minister and Prime Minister in waiting?
Well, you waited for too long. That when you achieve that, it's just like normal. You've been thinking about it, you plan, and I am as comfortable as I was before. So nothing has changed. My mannerism, my contact. Although the burden of office is, of course, something else, and you have to deal with the problems of the state, and we have to work really, really hard.
But are you happier?
Well, happy in a sense that you don't have that pressure, now pressure of work, not the pressure of harassment and intimidation. And it's of course quite a relief.
Your premiership is approaching 100 days. Is this still honeymoon period for you?
Not really, because from day one, I have my colleagues getting the clear message, all committed. We work very hard. We don't have a clear time frame, whether it's a week or a month or a year. The point is, from day one, we have to set the parameters right, because we are talking about good governance, ridding the country of corruption, which has become systemic, which means the challenge is serious. And we have also some glimmer of racial tension and religious animosity, which we have to deal with. But I believe the majority of Malaysians remain safe, understanding that we can live up to our belief, but we have the country to preserve and secure.
Regarding your visit to Thailand, your schedule is very packed, about 48 hours. But yesterday you have discussion with Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, and it's been expected highly out of your visit that it will lead to peace process in Thailand, especially the role of Malaysia. Can you tell me what you discussed with him, frankly, about the south of Thailand?
Well, with Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha and Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit, who's of course dealing with some issues in the south, we discussed it extensively because it's been going on for decades. The difference being, it is an internal matter within Thailand. So we can come in only as a facilitator when requested. And I told Prime Minister Prayut that in a small way, with your agreement, I would do whatever is necessary, talking to our friends in the south, engaging with them, and also engaging with those in Bangkok. There is trust deficit. Is it true that there is not going to be intimidation? Is it true that their welfare, that their religion and culture and language be protected? I believe it is true. I mean, it's not just a matter of what the government had said, but it's from their action. So we'll have to then ensure that the negotiations and meetings take place more often, and some of the issues raised must be dealt with and addressed. But what cannot be considered or compromised is our position against any form of violence.
Formally, Malaysia has appointed new facilitator. Can you do more on top of having facilitator for Malaysia?
Well, only one facilitator who's formerly chief of the armed forces, who's a friend to many of the key generals here, and that has helped immensely in the negotiations, in the process of negotiations. But what is more important is not just one. It is a commitment. Number one, both prime ministers. Number two, both security agencies. Number three, the issue of socio-economic development, not only for South Thailand, but also for North Malaysia, North Malaya, not North Malayan Peninsula, and both in terms of bilateral and also the triangle, which involves part of Indonesia. So we have to revive that. And I think there's just a consensus. I think Prime Minister Prayut was also very positive in this sort of initiative. I can't say for now, but from reading the notes of past meetings, this has been most frank, most forthcoming, and the commitment to proceed to ensure that there is a special sort of effort to enhance bilateral relations, border security, avoiding smuggling, trade, investments, joint development, cultural, education. It has been so positive, and I'm very encouraged.
In addition to the issue of southern Thailand, what else the two countries can cooperate more to step up bilateral relations?
Well, there's a problem dealing with Myanmar, which is more problematic for Thailand because of the common border. You're dealing with a military junta that do not care about the plight of human rights issues or killings and rights of minorities. But I told my Thai counterpart that we have a problem because almost 200,000 already in Malaysia. We can't cope. The solution is not to give them better housing and medical facilities. The solution is in Myanmar. It must be there and resolved by the military regime. We can't say that the whole of ASEAN has no influence or say. Because if we do give that signal, then the Europeans and the Americans or the Chinese will claim the right. So that's my view. Although I must humbly concede that I'm junior in this region, in the leadership. So I have to speak and persuade the other more senior leaders.
So you mean that as a newcomer, do you believe in your ability to convince other leaders you met with, leader of Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, and now Thailand? Can they be on the same page on Myanmar?
So far we're getting closer. It's not a matter of my convincing them. They share. Sometimes they convince me too. But we don't have a choice. If we can't or fail to have an amicable resolution to this problem, there's going to be every right for the rest to come in. And it's not new. We're talking about 4 decades of a conflict. And it doesn't seem to be resolved in near future unless ASEAN will take probably a revised strategy. What we'll have to discuss.
Do you still believe in ASEAN way and constructive engagement, ASEAN way of solving this crisis?
Yes and no. There is also a lot of strength in dialogue and negotiations, but the ASEAN way has been extremely productive in dealing with many other issues, negotiating, tolerance, etc. But the ASEAN way needs to be revised when it comes to Myanmar because constructive engagement has not been working.
What's your plan of revising it as the newcomer?
As a newcomer, I will have to listen to my other colleagues. I acknowledge there is a problem. Our previous attempt to resolve doesn't seem to work. Things have gotten worse. You can't say it's an internal problem of Myanmar because it's affecting us, affecting Thailand badly because of the border. Refugees worse in Malaysia, and the refugees have been affecting Indonesia. So we'll have to deal. Indonesia is taking the lead. I will probably, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, speak to President Jokowi, giving my view on what has happened and seeking his wisdom in formulating some new strategies.